you know that. You must know that by now. Can I jump in front? Prisms, question mark. Can you explain to me why we use prisms? What does it show? Okay, it's not adequate to write a sentence on this. You should be able to write more. It's a paradigm or a technical situation for examining problems with adaptation. Details of the results obtained. It's not adequate to write a paragraph, okay? You're big boys and girls now, you should be able to produce lots more than that. Okay, some people are able to produce illustrations. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go on. Okay, another one.
Pictures of them back.
The difference between feed forward and feed back. Explanation of the two modes. Can you produce a model for me? Can you explain to me at the muscle level how you would actually identify feed forward and feed back? There's one very clear example. What is it? I've put it up. Must have put it up 3 times in the last 7 weeks.
Just drop the ball.
Dropping the ball, catching a ball.
Nailed it.
With the eyes open, with the eyes closed. It's a very, very easy way, and this is why I put it up on the slide, it's a very easy way of demonstrating the difference between feed forward and feed back. Everyday examples. Any everyday examples of feed forward activity. Think outside the box. Think of other examples.
Gate.
I can think of a really good example of feed forward activity.
Walking. Say it loud. Say gate.
Any examples?
Gate.
Come on, you can do it.
Say it. Gate. Gate.
Gate. Locomotion gait is a very good example of feed forward activity. Stepping up a step. You have to evaluate the height of the step. You have to activate the muscles to lift your limb. It's all feed forward activity. Feedback activity would be slipping on the ice when you're skiing. You can't predict that's going to happen. You can only respond with feedback. Another one. Components of postural control. Are you able to explain the main examples of these components?
Feed forward for back.
Okay, so think about what a feedback-based postural adjustment looks like. I've just shown you about 10 slides ago or 20 slides ago. How do you quantify that? Okay, what paradigm would you use? What everyday situation is it likened to? Acceleration of the bus, acceleration of the train, slipping on the ice. It's a good one. What's the importance of the way in which postural control is controlled or regulated? So how is it regulated? It's regulated through equilibrium, different components of orientation. Okay, so we talk about head stability, trunk stability, control of the centre of mass within the base of support, biomechanical constraints, which I didn't put up today, but you've done that, you've got some slides on that. Difference between centre of pressure, centre of mass, control of the ground reaction force. These are all examples of equilibrium. So, orientation, maintenance of the head in space, Frankfurt plane. Control of the trunk in dancers, naive subjects. Control of the trunk in animals with respect to the sport surface. Go on. Okay, could be this. Current traditional views of motor learning. Can you explain how you know learning has occurred? I think you know what I'm getting about. I'm getting at Risa Shadmir's work using the robot manipulandum. What modes of control are involved in learning? Can you give me an example of a good task where you can demonstrate that different modes of control are involved in learning? Can you explain an experiment itself or situation that illustrates this? Yes, you can. You should be able to now. I mentioned it twice, 3 times. Enough?
Yeah.
No.
Mention it again.
Use illustrations when you can. They will save you a bunch of time. Okay? Ask Joel. If you get a chance, you bumped into Joel. Ask Joel how he got ready for this exam, because I remember he did, and he got a very good grade. So ask him. Finished?
When do you start your master's program? Pretty soon.
What we got here? Are different types of sensory information used to an equal extent to control balance? Yes or no? No.
Dynamic
Okay, we
weight.
know that a situation called dynamic sensory weighting occurs. Are you able to explain when each mode is used? Yes, you are. You know specific examples of when vision is used, somatosensory information is used, vestibular information is used. You can give examples of different patient groups. You can do eyes open, eyes closed. That's a way of demonstrating how vision is used. Are you familiar with the consequences of an acute lesion of the labyrinth? What's the labyrinth? It's a fancy word for vestibular information, vestibular system. Yes, you can. You can tell me what the consequences of an acute lesion are, and you can also make the relationship between those results that we get with an acute lesion and what you see in everyday life in a vestibular patient. All right, I've told you that. What's the clinical relevance of this? That's what I just said.
The one that pushed off again.
Spoon feeding. This is what it's called. If you don't pass this exam, you don't deserve to. Okay, what parameters of movement are controlled by the motor cortex? I've talked about this today.
He must hate this.
Force, direction.
People
Who
must
showed
have
what?
found
Not going to
glass
answer
to
that, you know that.
everything.
Can you illustrate this findings? I hope you can.
There's so many.
Cell rasters, direction of movement, trajectories, monkeys,
I wouldn't get off that one.
manipulandum, manipulandi, if you want to make it plural. How does M1 equal learning?
That's a good question.
So how does the motor cortex relate to learning?
It's a
And
good
rotation
question.
of cells in the cortex with a rotation of the preferred direction of muscle activation. I've never seen you write so much in 12 weeks. It's really good. Two more. What did Cramen propose? What did he propose? Tell me now. Sorry? No, that was lactone
I would
failed. What did Cramen propose?
Feedback.
No.
Yes.
See the peanut guy?
The peanut guy.
It's a type of model. It's an internal forward model. Is this a new proposal? Yeah, it's fairly new. Except that von Helmholtz actually proposed that might happen with eye movements, but he never proved it. How do we know this proposition holds true? Give me some experimental examples of internal models. Your unloading, Garçon-Café experiment is the best illustration.
Tickling.
Drinking through a straw rather than picking it up with your hand is a good illustration. Being able to tickle yourself is a good illustration, but it's not enough to say because you can't tickle yourself. Okay, which is what people said last year. Tell me why you can't tickle yourself. There's a really good reason.
Feedback.
Because you can predict the sensory consequences of that tickle.
I get speed 4.
Can you illustrate recently proposed models of movement control? So Cramen actually showed that there was a model,
Such a
and I
shit
put it
guy.
up today. Last one. I may have included this too. Are you familiar with major descending pathways? If I was to ask you to explain situations that help to identify the roles of two pathways, could you do that?
Yeah.
What am I getting at?
The inclines.
Inclines. What types of pathways?
RSN and DSN.
Reticulospinal,
No.
vestibulospinal.
So it's like cortical.
Okay, others
We
might
talked
be
about
the use
it
of
for like
TMS
2
with the
hours.
cortical spinal tract
Do
and the
this.
use of galvanic vestibular stimulation producing sway through the anode. What functional relevance do these pathways have? They control the vestibulospinal, reticulospinal control for changes in posture with incline, moving on an unstable surface,
Thanks, mate.
changing the muscle synergies in the discipline.
Cool. Yeah,
So you have to answer 4 of 8.